Back to Joe Bob's Last Call and Warlock The Armageddon on TNT.
Hey, Joe Bob Briggs. Martin Sheen didn't want to do that last scene that way. He didn't want to hold up that baby in the scene. They had to talk him into it. And the reason is that when Martin Sheen made Apocalypse Now, they had a scene where he throws a spear, and then you see the spear go through a baby and also through the adult holding the baby. But when they showed the movie to a preview audience in San Francisco, the crowd booed, and so the scene was taken out. So he was worried about doing a scene that implied harm to a baby, but David Cronenberg explained to him that the baby is not really at risk because there's no way the Christopher Walken character is going to shoot a baby. So he finally did the scene. The other interesting thing about that great final scene is that the kid who takes the pictures of Martin Sheen holding up the baby, the pictures that bring about his downfall, that kid is Ramon Estevez Jr., Martin's son. So pretty dang good movie. Okay, next week on Monstervision, it's our annual Godzilla night, beginning with the granddaddy of them all, Godzilla, King of the Monsters, the one from the early 50s that got everything started. Of course, everyone knows by now that Godzilla will be attacking New York for the first time on the big screen this coming Wednesday. But we like to do things the old-fashioned way, the Tokyo Stomp. And our second feature is Godzilla vs. Mothra, uniting two of the most famous Japanese monsters in one movie. You know, when they made that, they had jealousy on the set. They had to put Godzilla's trailer over here, a long way away from Mothra's trailer. And they were big trailers, too. Right now, though, we're going to watch Julian Sands as the devil's appointed messenger sent to Earth to make sure a woman gives birth to the devil's spawn during the once every 1,000 years total eclipse. But unfortunately for him, there are some druids living in the suburbs, and they still remember how to kick Warlock Heine. It's kind of a fun film. I'll give you those drive-in totals, and we'll get right to it. We have 28 dead bodies, 1 dead dog, devil rape, arrow to the neck, looting, pillaging, crossbow to the tummy, 1 giant slime glopola intestine monster with blue mucus, exploding teenager, flaming stomach, 1 motor vehicle chase with crash, taxi driving zombie, shotgun to the chest, fashion model death plunge, gas station attendant eating, black blood spewing, midget impalement, tree burning, druid fillet, lip zipping, executive mangling, motorcycle levitating, crucifixion, exploding bookstore, spike through the stomach torture, tree branch through the body. An 84 on the vomit meter, gratuitous sacred rune stones, insect foo, shotgun foo, 4 stars. Check it out. We'll be here all night. And how do we get decent movies like this in the middle of May? It's just making me giddy, you know? Did somebody in the programming department die? They're over at that Cannes Film Festival, right, in France, sucking up to Quentin Tarantino. They weren't around to screw everything up this May, were they? You know, we have hardcore, depraved cyber geeks who never miss a single week in the Monstervision chat room. Some of them hadn't changed clothes or showered in 3-4 days, and they get in this kind of computer keyboard psycho freakazoid zone, and they want to discuss Antonioni with me. Check this out at tnt.turner.com/monstervision, but whatever you do, don't mention the early work of Francois Truffaut when he was a critic for Cahiers de Cinema. That drives him crazy.
Come meet all the Monstervision fans in our chat room at tnt.turner.com/monstervision. Back to Joe Bob's Last Call and Warlock The Armageddon on TNT.
Well, obviously, we've got a special effects jamboree going on here tonight, and I want to commend the TNT censors for letting us see darn near all of that great intestine slime glopola monster that drips out of that girl and then eats the dog and then makes the girl explode and then turns into Julian Sands, the Warlock. Because I don't know about you, but with all the druids and the pregnancies and the horsemen with torches and the total eclipse and those rune stones, and they saved 2 of those rune stones. Did you get that part? Yeah. And, well, anyway, the obvious lack of any relation to the first Warlock movie, I have no idea what's going on here. But I don't care, because it keeps moving, so back to the movie. The special effects guy, Bob Keane, he said that when he did that slime scene, he tried to duplicate every fluid found in the body that the body wants to get rid of. Think about that. Ooh, should we say that together? Yuck, yuck, double yuck. All right?
Back to Joe Bob's Last Call and Warlock The Armageddon on TNT.
Maybe the best line in the whole movie is when Kenny's dad says, "Just give us a chance to explain why they shot him through the chest with a shotgun." It's a druid thing. The original Warlock was a very different movie. It came out in 1991 with very little publicity, and it turned out to be the biggest grossing picture of all time for Trimark Pictures, so they decided they wanted a sequel, but the problem is that the original movie had everything settled in that story. There was no way to extend it. So they hired Kevin Rock to write a whole new Warlock story, and the only thing they kept was Julian Sands, because they knew that part of it was working. But that's why it's not Warlock 2, it's Warlock The Armageddon. Kevin Rock, who wrote it, he's a sequel specialist. He also wrote Philadelphia Experiment 2, which we've had on Monstervision, and of course the immortal Howling 6, The Freaks. I believe he pretty much finished off the whole Howling series with that one. But Kevin Rock had great horror credentials because his very first job in the film business was taking care of Linda Blair's poodle during the filming of Hell Night. So back to the movie. You can't replace that kind of experience. Don't scoff. If the poodle's not happy, Linda's not happy. If Linda's not happy, the director's not happy. If the director's not happy, the studio's not happy. You can learn the whole business by taking care of Linda Blair's poodle. Hey, Joe Bob Briggs here, and look at all these emails that just poured in today. Let's just read one. Hey, cowboy, did your mother smoke crack when she was pregnant with you? Well, we just love to hear from all our wonderful Monstervision fans, and there are two ways you can do that. You can write to me in care of Monstervision at 1010 Techwood Drive, Atlanta, Georgia, 30318, or you can email me at monstervision@turner.com. And you can also visit the Monstervision website at tnt.turner.com/ and make my life a living hell directly from there. Let's try another one. Dear Joe Bob, a lot of mail came in today.
Catch Monstervision with Joe Bob Briggs and Reno the Mail Girl every Saturday night on TNT. Back to Joe Bob's Last Call and Warlock The Armageddon on TNT.
And a couple more dead bodies as the devil's spawn slouches toward the little California town where the Druids live. That little California town, by the way, is actually the Disney Ranch, the same town used for Little House on the Prairie. And that was Joanna Pekula, the great Polish actress, playing the fashion designer who gets dropped through the skylight. But that was actually her stunt double, Janny Davis, who actually took the plunge. And the fall did knock her unconscious, and it broke her nose and bloodied her up, which was quite horrifying for all those giggly girls who were playing the fashion models there. Anyway, Joanna Pekula always turns up in these low-budget movies. She makes a lot of erotic thrillers. But back in Poland, she was one of the leading actresses in that country. And what happened is that she got stranded in Paris in 1981 when martial law was declared in her country. And so she decided to just head for Los Angeles and see what happened. And what happened is that she's made a lot of B movies, but always an interesting performance and always hot. Back to the flick. I have two words for Joanna. Yummy.
Back to Joe Bob's Last Call and Warlock The Armageddon on TNT.
As Julian Sands seeks ever more inventive ways to kill off the cast in Warlock The Armageddon, this might be a good time to visit with our criminal viewers in the segment we call Joe Bob's Jailbreak. And I do believe that the TNT mail girl of the evening, the lovely Rusty, is on her way out here right now. And my goodness, look at you. I could just cage you up and throw away the key.
I beg your pardon?
It's a compliment. I don't want to cage up every male girl that comes out here.
I'm so flattered.
Only about half of them.
Are you trying to be annoying, or does it just come naturally?
Both. Half of it comes natural, but I try.
Well, you're doing an excellent excellent job.
Okay, what prison are we visiting this week? Thank you, buddy.
Tonight's letter is from the Moberly Correctional Center in Moberly, Missouri.
All right, I know where that is. Middle of gall-dang nowhere is where that is. It's up north of Columbia. Mr. Joe Bob Briggs, I have a few questions to ask you. Number one, how much Milwaukee Best do you consume on one show? And why do you drink cheap beer anyway? The show is good, so I think you should drink good beer, like Bud or Bush. Bush? The good stuff. I want to request some movies, too. A lot of people have been talking about Vincent Price movies like The Raven, The Wax Factory. That's the movies that made the horror movies come alive. Respectfully, Kiefer, what's his name? Kiefer Danback, number 185674, Moberly Correctional Center. Is there a menu? Was there a menu with this?
No menu.
You guys, you got to start sending those prison menus, okay? Kiefer, you jailbirds always have questions about beer. I know there's a few prisons that'll let you have a beer every once in a while, like once a month they'll let you have one beer on Visitor's Day or something. Most of you just sit there dreaming about it all the time. But if the movie's decent, I'll have one beer. If the movie's horrible, I'll have 8 beers a movie. So it always falls into that 1 to 8 range, and I can't be any more specific than that. The Raven is not a great movie, but Kiefer, gee whiz, you're in the jailhouse. If you insist, I'll try to get it for you. But I don't think you mean the Wax Factory. You mean the Wax Museum, right? Yeah. And you want a beer? Speaking of that, I never offer anybody. You want a beer?
Thank you.
You don't drink beer?
Not too much.
Strawberry daiquiri?
No, thank you.
Good. I hate strawberry daiquiris. Okay. Moberly Correctional Center is located in Moberly, Missouri, where there are about 14,000 people, and 1,800 of them are convicted felons, all men, level 4 security. There's 5 levels in Missouri, so it's next below maximum security. And the only jobs they have there are food service, building maintenance, printing plant where they print stuff for the state of Missouri, and road sign making. And the only organized sports are basketball and handball. Not a real happy place. But remember, Kiefer, free your mind and your butt will follow, and keep watching Monstervision because we love a captive audience.
How do you know that it's not a real happy place? Just because people aren't happy on the inside, I mean, they could be happy on the inside even if everything on the outside is depressing.
Have you ever been to a prison?
You're saying that I don't know what I'm talking about?
Nobody at Moberly is happy, honey.
Well, then I'm just glad that we could bring a little joy into their lives.
Back to the movie, all right? Are you from Texas?
Born and raised.
Was your daddy a salesman?
How'd you know that?
He sell Herbalife?
No.
Amway?
How'd you know that?
What would you do for a Monstervision t-shirt? Just think about what would happen if you walked into a singles bar wearing one of these babies. You'd have all kinds of scummy people who wanted to talk to you. Well, you're closer to a free pina colada than you think, because all you have to do is enter the Monstervision caption contest, make the 6-headed jury laugh, and you get the shirt. So check it out at tnt.turner.com/Monstervision, and please don't try to win by saying the F word 19,000 times in your caption. You're going to need to save that stuff to impress your date.
Want a good laugh? Then play the Monstervision caption contest at tnt.turner.com/Monstervision. Back to Joe Bob's Last Call and Warlock The Armageddon on TNT.
You know, they set a blood record on this movie. Bob Keane, the special effects guy, says they used 200 gallons of stage blood on this movie. But that's typical of director Anthony Hickox, who also made the vampire comedy Sundown, as well as Waxwork and Waxwork 2. And come to think of it, this movie has some similarities to a great movie made by Anthony Hickox's father, Douglas Hickox, Theater of Blood. One of our favorites around here, starring Vincent Price as the disgruntled Shakespearean actor who goes around killing the critics of London in ever more inventive ways. Well, dear old Dad would have been proud of the way Julian Sands tops himself in every one of these murder scenes. In fact, he got so carried away with making these killing scenes as gruesome as possible that they ended up having some major problems with the MPAA ratings board, and they had to lose about 4 scenes or alter them drastically before they finally got the R rating that they wanted. Okay, let's spread a little slime here as Warlock The Armageddon continues. You know, Julian Sands, whoa! He's disgusting in this movie, but it's nothing compared to what he did in Boxing Helena, which came out the same year as this movie. Did you see that? One where he cuts up Sherilyn Fenn one body part at a time so he can enjoy her company. You know, obviously Julian is not angling for that Saturday morning kiddie show host job, you know? I don't think they're going to have a Julian Sands ride at the Universal Studios tour, you know? Ladies and gentlemen, keep your arms inside the tram, please. Whoops, Julian cut off little Timmy's arm. Well, look out, he's going to get Sarah's legs. Ooh, uh-oh. You know, we have hardcore, depraved cyber geeks who never miss a single week in the Monstervision chat room. Some of them hadn't changed clothes or showered in 3-4 days, and they get in this kind of computer keyboard psycho freakazoid zone, and they want to discuss Antonioni with me. Check this out at tnt.turner.com/Monstervision, but whatever you do, don't mention the early work of Francois Truffaut when he was a critic for Cahiers de Cinema. That drives him crazy.
Come meet all the Monstervision fans in our chat room at tnt.turner.com/Monstervision. Back to Joe Bob's Last Call and Warlock The Armageddon on TNT.
Well, believe it or not, there was a lot more gruesome stuff taken out of there. In that scene where the son of Satan picks up the slutty hitchhiker, he originally rips her scalp off of her head. Very bloody. Now it just looks like he rips her wig off, right? And then in the scene with the great character actor R.J. Armstrong, it's probably not obvious why he gives up the stone. The reason he gives up the stone is that first the son of Satan cuts off both of his arms, but not in the final version of the movie, so now it doesn't make sense. See, that was not gratuitous arm hacking. That was necessary to the plot arm hacking. And now look what we have. A dead druid with no rational explanation. So the MPAA ought to be ashamed of itself for that. Young independent filmmakers trying to do their job, tell a story, what do they get? Nazi arm hacker haters. I'm appalled, and you should be too. But first watch the interminable conclusion of Warlock The Armageddon. I'm not really appalled. I don't know how that came out of my mouth. I don't even know what appalled means. I only say appalled because people say that to me all the time. Dear Joe Bob, I am appalled. You know what that means to me? It means don't read the rest of that letter. It's from an appalled person. How seriously can you take a person who gets appalled?
Back to Joe Bob's Last Call and Warlock The Armageddon on TNT.
That's it? That's how you kill the devil? You turn on the headlights of your truck and he melts? After that whole movie, they kill Satan with a Chevy 4x4? Julian Sands sure took his time dying, though. Good grief, that man is a ham. Good movie, though. Non-stop special effects movie. I like those. All right, next week on Monstervision, it's Godzilla night with two of the great ones. Godzilla, King of the Monsters, the very first Godzilla movie, the one that started it all for the Green Guild fire-spewing dinosaur from Tokyo Harbor, followed by Godzilla vs. Mothra, uniting Godzilla with probably the second most famous Japanese monster. And that's it for me, Joe Bob Briggs, reminding you that the reason you shouldn't take life seriously is that it's not permanent. I have a joke that fits tonight's movie.
All right.
Guy dies and goes to hell. Devil greets him at the gates of hell, and Satan says, "Welcome to hell. Do you drink?" The man says, "You bet." And Satan says, "Then you'll enjoy Mondays around here." He says, "Do you smoke?" The man says, "Like a steam engine." And Satan says, "And you're really going to like Tuesdays." And he says, "You like sex with women?" The man says, "Nobody likes it more than I do." And Satan says, "You're going to hate Wednesdays." Joe Bob Briggs reminding you that the drive-in will never die. Why do married men gain weight while bachelors don't? Because bachelors go to the refrigerator, see nothing they want, and then go to bed. Married men go to bed, see nothing they want, and then go to the refrigerator.